Hello out there, this is Toy Customizer Wakeangel2K1. And check out what I just got today! Yes, I almost forgot, but a few months ago, I got an email from Crunchyroll.com offering me a discount on the Mario figure from SH Figuarts if I were to pre-order with them. So, I decided to take them up on their offer since that would make the figure come out to less than 20 bucks, and he just came! So, let's get a quick look at the packaging because it's an SH Figuart, and Figuarts have really nice packaging. Okay, so the front is a window box. You can see the Mario figure himself along with his accessories. There's a coin, a mushroom, and the question mark box. And the box art itself depicts other things like a Goomba, a Koopa shell, and a pipe. If you look along the side, you can see Mario posing around with these items, showing that they're actual things that he can use. And on the back, all the text is in Japanese, but I'm sure they're advertising upgrade sets. Like, this is what the package contains, and this is a display set you can purchase that has a whole bunch of other stuff, including extra things that hold the pipe, that hold the question mark block up so it can look like Mario's jumping at them. And then the last couple sides of the box show Mario reclining, and even the top of the box is decorated. Okay, so it's a very nice figure box, well worth keeping and displaying on its own, even if you aren't the type to keep packaging. So yeah, good box. Let's get Mario out of there and take a look at what he's like. So, removed from the packaging, this is what you have. You have the Mario figure himself, which I'll talk about in detail in just a bit, a question mark block, a mushroom, and a coin. In addition, the coin has this cool little transparent base thing. So, this thing has a little peg on it, and you see there's a hole in the bottom of the coin. That way, you just stick the hole on the peg, and the coin stands up, just like it does in the video game. And since the base is transparent, it even makes the coin look like it's hovering slightly. The coin itself has this really nice gold chrome on it. It's highly reflective, and I've been touching it for a bit, and I noticed it hasn't really been picking up fingerprints. So I don't know how they managed to do that, but it's really well done. I mean, look how reflective it is. Yeah. You can actually see my thumb in it. So you can actually set the coin up on top of the block to look like Mario just hit the block and the coin came out. And if you look at the bottom of the block, you see that there's a peg hole there, so you can put it in one of those translucent pegs to be hovering above the ground. That way it can look like Mario's ready to jump up and hit it. That's all well and good. So, that's Mario with the accessories that comes with the box. If you want the Goomba, the Koopa shell, the extra blocks, and all the stand stuff, then you're gonna have to buy the upgrade kits, which I did not. Okay, so let's talk about Mario himself. So here is the Mario Figuart. Yeah, I mean, when you give him a complete go-around, you have Mario is all there. There's no breaks in the sculpt except for his articulation points, which I'll get into in just a minute. But he really looks good. He has that big dopey smile. His mustache is captured perfectly. See, as you can see, the mustache actually comes off his face just a tiny little bit. Like, let me see if I can... Yeah, you see that? That's a really nice sculpt. He looks great. He has his little buttons. You can see the seams on his pants. I mean, it's all there. He doesn't come with any alternate hands, but I saw alternate hands on the box, meaning that those upgrade kits that have the Goomba and stuff probably also have swapping hands for him. So, let's talk articulation. Mario's head is ball jointed. It's kind of restricted by his hair, his little mullet thing, if you want to call it that. But it is free enough to afford him some tilt, and it can turn. I mean, it can't turn very far, but if you pull it, his chin kind of scrapes along his shoulder, and it can go around. Because the plastic is made with just enough flexibility and give. Yeah. Oh, well, as long as I pop this head off, you can see that the ball joint itself is also mounted on this thingy. Eh? So you can give Mario the ability to look a bit up and down with that. Or at least the sculpt kind of limits the range, but it's okay. Actually, that was a big point of contention with sculpt limiting the range of joints. Mario is a chubby little plumber guy. He is never going to be as flexible as some other characters. So the figure is posable enough to take on several iconic Mario poses from the games, and it's a great deal more posable than any other Mario figures that you can get on the market right now. And in fact, I think there was only one truly posable Mario figure that came out before this. It was like, I saw it on display in the Nintendo store's little museum. It was like the little guy that goes on the Mario Kart. Like, you could take him off the cart and then he has like articulated shoulders and hips and all that. But yeah, there's never been a Mario figure with that level of articulation again until now. So, shoulders. They are universal joints. They move around in there, although you only get about that far before they clip into the sculpt. Elbows, a good 90-degree bends in the elbow without the elbow's not too restricted by the sculpt at all, actually. And then there's a wrist swivel. Yeah. And good arm. Not the best arm in the universe, but good. It's a good arm. I mean, I suppose they could have given him a little bit more outward range if they had cut into the sleeve there, but I think it looks fine. It's a good range and it preserves the look. Now, there is no waist joint, but he does have, he has this little thing with his hips. You'd think that the articulation for the hips is all the way down here, which would severely limit them. Actually, the only thing that's for is for the outward range. I mean, he can't exactly do the splits, but he can spread them just enough to take on that heroic stance. You know that heroic stance, right? But the way his hips really work is that this entire thing on the front of his pants, that's all joint, baby. That's all joint. So you can actually pull it far enough forward that Mario can sit. You just gotta... His head is heavy, so you kind of have to put his hands behind him. But yeah, he can totally do that. If you have a little Mario Kart car that would scale with him, he could totally sit in it. They don't have as much... They can't really go backwards all that much, but with his 90-degree... Well, almost 90-degree bend at the knee, you can easily replicate his iconic jumping poses. See? Yahoo! Little bit. There we go. Yahoo! Speaking of which, the knees are very smooth and have good range. Like, the sculpt isn't... There's actually like a cap that covers the joints, so the sculpt isn't too broken up. And there's no knee swivel, but his ankle is on a very wide-ranging ball joint. You can even... Look, check it out. Here's pushed in. You can actually pull it out just a little bit so you can get that much more range in his ankle, which is really cool. So that's pretty much a breakdown of his articulation. He's not the most super posable, ultra articulated, human level posability figure out there, but for Mario, this is really good, and he totally works for me. I dig this little guy so much. I dig him so much. He is so cool. It's a Mario. We all love our little Italian plumber from Brooklyn with his coolness and his little coveralls, and he's adorable and lovable and all that. Okay. Let's talk more about Mario By which I of course mean, let's compare Mario to some other figures. So here he is next to the only other Mario figure I own. In case you're wondering which one this is, it's kind of complicated. This isn't really a Mario action figure, it's part of a candy toy. You see, at Toys R Us you can buy these barrels full of sugar candies, and standing on top of the barrel is a Mario figure, both in this deco and another one which has him in his flame suit, you know, with the white overalls. And that Mario is permanently fixed on top of that barrel, so in order to get him off, I had to literally saw his feet off the lid of the barrel and then sculpt on new soles out of clay because the figure's feet actually weren't made flat for standing, because it wasn't really meant to, because it was only ever meant to be part of that barrel. So basically, this is basically a custom Mario figure that I made way back when. Well, not way back when, he's only a few months old, but still. I also painted the little red shirt underneath his arm, because this is all just a uniform blue before. But besides that, I didn't really do anything else to him. So this little stand-up toy has a head that can turn until his chin hits his chest, and that's as far as it'll go. And this is really stiff, hard plastic. It doesn't have the flexibility or give that the Figuart does. The arms are made of a much softer plastic, although they only have a simple cut joint, so that's basically all the things that you'll be getting him to do. And that's pretty representative of just about every other Mario toy you can get. They're either going to be statues, or if they have articulation, that's it. Turning head, swivel arms. Except for that aforementioned Mario Kart figure, which came out like way back in the year 2000 or so, that's it for posable Mario figures that you would be able to find until today. Let's compare him to a couple of other things that I happen to have. So if you're hoping to make a Super Smash Bros. Display, then this little Figuarts Mario should fit in just fine. All I have for Nintendo figures right now is my Figma Pits and Samus, but they match pretty well, despite the fact that they're made by a different toy company. There's also going to be like the D-Arts Mewtwo, Charizard. I think they have Lucario too. So if you wanna set up a Smash Bros. Display with your Pokemon figures or with your Figmas here, then you could totally pull it off, because this guy blends in just fine. Now if only I could get like a D-Arts Star Fox or something like that, we could really start to build up a Smash Bros. Display. I don't have the Figma link either. That's kind of a regret I have. Oh well. Things will get a little bit awkward if you're hoping to set up a Mario and Sonic at the Olympics display, though. So, at 4 inches tall, the SH Figuart Mario doesn't really scale with any Sonic toys, which is a shame, because that's what I was hoping for him to do primarily. He's too tall next to the 3-inch Jazzwares figure, but too short next to the 5-inch. And it's a shame. I'm really upset that this scale doesn't work out. It does get a little bit better if you swap out the modern Sonic for the classic one, because then they're really close in height. Yeah, so I suppose you could put him next to classic Sonic, but that won't ring true for a Mario and Sonic at the Olympics display, since that's always been modern Sonic in that pose. This is an unfortunate bummer that the scale just doesn't quite work out between the modern Sonic and Mario figure. But if you're satisfied with having your Mario stand next to a classic Sonic figure, then you can pull that off pretty well with the Jazzwares. Well, this is awkward. As soon as I said that thing about not being able to work out a Mario and Sonic display, I remembered that the really old Resource Sonic figure from all the way back in 1999, he was actually a little bit taller than a 3-inch Jazzware Sonic, so I brought him here to see how it would work out. And it turns out he's pretty much the right size, standing next to Mario. I mean, okay. The first real official Sonic action figure. I mean, I know that approximately 10 of you out there probably actually own this figure. And maybe one other guy actually has it in this good condition. But hey, there you go. If you have this 15-year-old Sonic figure that was sold in very limited quantities in its own time and comes from a toy company that long ago went out of business, then you can stand him next to Mario. And if you don't mind the much more primitive design engineering that went into him, then he is in the approximate right scale to go with him on your display. Wow. The SH Figuarts Mario definitely fills in a niche that hadn't been for quite some time. He's probably not going to satisfy some articulation junkies out there who need their figures to be set up like doing super high kicks or the splits all the time. But if all you want is a Mario figure that has a decent range of articulation and can take on various poses that you've seen him do in the games, then he will definitely satisfy you. There is absolutely nothing wrong with this guy, and all of his joints are just tight enough that he can hold his poses without being too tight or creaky, and everything has as much range as it needs. Maybe not as much as some people would want, but everything that you need to be Mario. So if you find this guy around, you're probably going to have to order him online because it's a Figuart. But if you find him around, then I would recommend him. He is a great action figure. And he's going to be a proud part of my display. Alright, this is Toy Customizer Wakeangel2K1 signing out.